Hi everyone, welcome to our September Xero Developer Update webinar. I'm so excited that all of you have joined us today. I'm Grace, the Developer Evangelism Manager at Xero and your host for today. If you're up late or you want to catch up on or rewatch some of today's webinar, we will be uploading this webinar to our Xero Developer YouTube channel, so you can keep an eye out on there too. And you can find an array of different content from our team on our YouTube channel as well. Today, we have a great crew from the Xero Developer team, and you'll be hearing from a range of us, including Kelly Curran, our lead product manager, Regan Ashworth, head of ecosystem governance, Cam, who's our senior growth manager, and Corey, who is our developer marketing manager. And if that isn't enough, we also have Brian, Bronwyn, and Brianna, also known as the B team, who will be helping out with the Q&A that you can submit during today. If you do have any questions throughout today's webinar, then you'll see in the bottom panel of your Zoom screen that there's a little button that says Q&A. You can click on that and you can submit any questions that you have throughout today's presentations. We will be doing a live Q&A session at the end with all of the speakers. So we'll try and answer any of the questions you have then, or the crew who's here to help will also try and answer some of them throughout the webinar as well. Right, so what are you going to hear about today? We have a great variety of updates for you, covering many of the highlights that you missed from Xero Developer Day in Brisbane as well, and they're kind of scattered throughout today. But you can expect us to walk through a range of different technical updates. We've got our AI toolkit that Regan's going to be sharing about, a range of really interesting insights around our App Store and what we're doing to drive promotion for apps at the moment, as well as a big update on what we're doing to engage all of you in our developer community as well. Now, very recently, we have just seen many of you in person, and I was so excited to MC our Xero Developer Day in Brisbane on the 22nd of September. So just a couple of weeks ago, really. And that was overlooking the beautiful river in Brisbane. And we thought we'd share a few pics from the day and a bit of a sneak peek of some of the fun swag that we had. And we had a room just full of so many apps and so many developers, which you can see here. And it was really great to be able to reconnect with lots of apps and devs who come along to our webinar like this. They come along to our Xero Developer office hours every Friday that I host. And many people that we hadn't seen in a while, but also there are a bunch of new faces and people doing new things with the API and building interesting apps to solve interesting problems. So it was really exciting there. We had a great team of the Zeros there, and we're hoping to see all of you at a future one as well. Um, we also that week had Xerocon, which went off so well. It was an awesome success, and this is a picture of all of the fantastic staff from all of the exhibitors that were there, many apps who were exhibiting on the floor for Xerocon, and we thank all of you for being there. And we hope that you have had lots of success post Xerocon with converting all those leads into paying customers as well. So that's a little sneak peek of what went on in Brisbane in the beginning of September. Right, so now we're going to move into talking about some technical updates, and I will kick us off before I'll hand over to Kelly. First up, we have a number of ongoing updates happening at the moment in the API, which I want to run through a summary of. I'm not going to run through all the full details, so if you do want to learn all of the things that you need to know about these changes, then please do go and look at the changelog. First change to note is for AU payroll, and this is in regarding to a change that's coming into effect from November 2025, where we are updating the payroll Australian endpoint for pay runs, and specifically that's to the post pay runs endpoint. And this is to process only a single pay run per request, and there are more details about this in the changelog as well. In the New Zealand payroll API, there's an existing rollout happening at the moment through to October 2025, which is coming up very soon. And this is where New Zealand payroll customers will be migrating to new features to better manage leave and also compliance with the Holidays Act in New Zealand as well. This affects quite a number of different endpoints in the New Zealand payroll API, so I do recommend you go and have a look at the changelog to see which endpoints those are. In the accounting API, there's an existing rollout continuing through to October 2025, which impacts a change to US tax number visibility, also improves validation on accounting document IDs for the payments and allocations endpoints as well. And finally, for the XPM API, there's been a migration going on to move from the folder field to the tag field for client records for quite a number of months now. That is going to general availability in October, so next month. So keep an eye out for that if you are an XPM user. In terms of new things that we've been working on, if you have ever been worried about accidentally posting data to the wrong tenant, or if you've had concerns about how you ensure data integrity for your Xero customers, we've created a comprehensive guide on Xero API's best practices for managing tokens and IDs. When you develop an app, the critical parts to get right of that, there's lots of things, but being secure and effective with your token management are really, really important. Incorrect token handling and an incorrect understanding of IDs can lead to data being retrieved or posted to the wrong Xero organizations. You can also have unexpected connection problems and security vulnerabilities, which I'm sure all of you are very keen to avoid. So in this new guide, you will be able to discover what information to store from the connections and organizations endpoints to make sure you're building a really robust data model in your product. And we also talk through the importance of securely encrypting and storing your tokens, protecting against race conditions, and how to gracefully manage token refreshes. And we also delve into things like managing your multi-tenant applications, which quite a few apps do, and our recommended best practices around threading and concurrency as well. So we do recommend you go and have a look at that, as it's got some really, really great insights into some best practices we're suggesting for you to implement. Also coming in guides is a launch to an invoicing guide very, very soon. And this is going to cover all of the nitty-gritty things you want to get right when you're building an invoicing integration. You can expect to read about the way to design your workflow, the difference between sales and bills, what you should look to get the user to set up and configure when you're setting up your integration. So that's things like account mapping and tax rates and more things like that. We also give practical tips on how to construct and post the invoice itself, as well as overcoming issues and problems that you might come up against on that journey. And then finally, we also make some suggestions on extra features you could add to help craft the beautiful experience that you want to have for customers as well. So look out on our dev blog, devblog.xero.com, very soon to announce the launch of that guide. Recently, we also launched a new dotnet sample app, and we have a video on YouTube as well, which walks through all of the details that you'll need to know about that new sample app that we've created. And we'd love to know, or specifically Brian, who's also on the webinar today, Brian, who's been building that sample app, would love to know if you have any feature requests as well. Right, so that is where I'm going to pause for now, and I am going to welcome Kelly Curran to talk about other technical updates we have at the moment. Kelly.
Kia ora everyone, it's so good to be here. But let's talk about webhooks. We've heard pretty loud and clear from you guys that you want more webhooks and you want also improved webhooks. So polling our APIs to see if something changed really sucks for you guys, and it really sucks for us too. You've asked for more data on the webhooks that we already have, so you can be more selective about the information you want, specifically around the invoice webhook, asking for status and invoice category information. So you can choose whether you collect information about an accounts payable invoice or an accounts receivable invoice. Historically, when we've wanted to build webhooks with you, our domain teams have needed to create individual event consumer products. This took a bunch of time and created overhead that needed to be looked after. As eventing architectural patterns are becoming more and more prominent for all tech businesses, we are able to leverage Xero's improvements and pipelines to support more webhooks more quickly for you. Using this functionality means that we are currently looking at building out a credit note webhook, which will be available for beta testing in December, and we are aiming to launch for all in January. Once this is live, we'll be able to lift and shift with significantly less effort and deliver more webhooks to you. In the interests of real-time feedback, I'm really keen to understand what webhook you'd like next. Please share your feedback on the poll. I've spoken about this a little bit already, but we've recently reinvested in our Xero Developer Ideas forum to make it both easier for you guys to recommend an issue or a change, as well as to upvote ideas that are already listed. Our job in ecosystem is to advocate internally for you all, sharing the so what. Why should Xero product teams care about APIs and apps? Calling out the specific value and what it means for them. How APIs can help drive data into Xero and support our product market fit with teams. Our Xero Developer Ideas is such an important data source that helps us make the case for change and influence Xero's roadmaps. When you create ideas or engage with existing ideas by upvoting or commenting, it's so important that you give us specifics about what the improvement would mean to you and our shared customers. That data is gold, and it makes it so much easier to share and influence product teams about where they should be prioritizing changes. You'll also be pleased to know that the Xero team is investing in the conversations as well. We are updating threads with what we can and can't do, so you can now expect responses from us. Thanks, team.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, Kelly. And I am looking forward to reading through what requests people had for what webhook to come up next. And I'm certainly looking forward to credit notes launching very, very soon as well. If I could just add a little bit of commentary around that Xero Developer Ideas, we get loads of feature requests in our pre-submitted questions for this webinar, as well as people coming to office hours and that kind of thing. And it's super, super helpful for us to be able to capture that in our Xero Developer Ideas. So I highly recommend you go and do that. But for now, I would like to welcome Regan, who will be sharing a number of updates about what we're up to in the AI space as well.
Thanks very much for having me, Grace. Thank you for going to the next slide too. That's awesome. AI is a hot topic right now. I think unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably been bombarded with AI everywhere. And unfortunately, this webinar will be no different. We will be bombarding you with AI here too. but it's a very exciting topic. It enables a whole bunch of amazing new paradigm shifts in terms of development and producing apps for people. So as part of what we're presenting today, next slide, please. I would like to talk to you about our Xero Agentic Toolkit, which we've launched. So at the heart of the Agentic Toolkit is our MCP server. MCP is Model Context Protocol. Model Context Protocol is all about bringing data from other sources into large language models or AI, and also performing actions in other systems from large language models or AI tools, which is, early days of ChatGPT. ChatGPT was great. You could ask us a bunch of questions and you could type in a bunch of stuff and get a bunch of, images drawn or things created, but you couldn't access things outside of what ChatGPT had access to, or Gemini or Claude or whatever you were using. With MCP, what gets enabled there is that you can actually perform actions in other systems. You can get data from other places that wasn't previously available, and it's all done in a really secure fashion with the proper consents in place. So our MCP server has been out for a while. A lot of you have probably used it already. We have used that as the foundation to build our Agentic SDKs. And so what we've done with the Agentic SDKs is we have a series of examples of how to build AI agents. And I'm super passionate about AI agents. I think this is the next big thing, right? This is Agentic AI is all about providing the AI with a goal that it wants to work towards and letting it make decisions to get there without input from a human being. You can add a human oversight if you want, but it's not a mandatory thing. So we've got examples of how to use several different AI agent frameworks. So there's LangChain, there is the OpenAI Agents SDK, and also Google Agent Development Kit. There's examples in Python and JavaScript, depending on which language you would prefer, and working examples of an agent using our MCP server and the Xero API to perform actions in Xero. So it's really exciting. Highly recommend you check it out and, get started building stuff now, right? Get on the wave that is currently rolling its way towards the shore, because AI is everywhere and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. So to help with that as well, we've also built an AI prompt library. So this is a collection of prompts which we have engineered with the help of several different AI tools and a whole bunch of for a whole bunch of different platforms. So things like Replit and Lovable, Cursor, all of these platforms that are using AI at the heart of them, you can copy and paste these prompts, tweak them to your needs, and get something happening. So things like, building out an application, simple application, there are examples of how to do that in the prompt library. And it's a great tool to get started if you haven't got started with AI already. And then on top of that, we have developed a series of different videos of how to use all these different AI platforms, and that's up on our developer YouTube channel at the moment. So if you haven't got started already and you want to get in at the ground and have somebody walk you through it, that's the idea with our AI YouTube series. Next slide, please. So yeah, if you're not sick of seeing my face, there's literally hours of content of me on our developer YouTube channel, which handily we've put a link to in the chat. There's a whole bunch of different videos here which cover different platforms that you're using. So there's like low-code tools like Lutra, which you don't need to see any code. You can just type in different prompts and it'll make different things happen within Xero using the Xero API. Lutra is an app partner of ours. And then we've got tools like Replit or Lovable, which can actually build like a full-blown app for you from scratch without needing to see any code as well. That is what the kids call vibe coding. It's pretty cool. If you can watch me fumble my way through it and make it work, your experience will probably be quite the same, I would imagine. And then on top of that, we've got some other examples of using tools like Cursor, which is like a full-blown integrated developer environment with an AI agent on the side. And then a completely hands-off AI agent, which is Claude Code, and getting that up and running with creating an application that integrates with the Xero API as well. So it's all high-quality content featuring an amazing presenter. So why wouldn't you want to watch it? Go and check it out. And then on top of that, the AI prompt library, as I said before, it's a great source if you're just getting started and you don't really know how to get going with making prompts. You haven't done a lot of prompt engineering before. There's a whole series of examples in different languages of creating different things using the Xero API. We really want this to be a central place for all of you to not just go and be able to get prompts, but we would also like all of you to contribute prompts to this library. So as you're going through your AI journey and you find a prompt that's useful to you, I'm sure it'll be useful to other people as well. So we'd love to have it as part of our prompt library. Just chuck in a pull request and we'll gladly accept it. So yeah, that's all. But AI is everywhere. We enjoy AI. We love AI. We want you to love AI too. Yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to shout out.
Thanks so much for joining us, Regan. And I highly recommend that YouTube series, if not just to go and laugh at all of Regan's hilarious dad jokes that he's included as well. Now I'd like to welcome Cam to share a bit more about what we're up to in the Xero App Store at the moment.
Cool. Thanks, Grace. Yeah, so today I'm going to cover two key areas. Firstly, updates to pricing on the Xero App Store. And then secondly, I'll cover a refresher of how we're promoting the ecosystem to our customers. So yeah, let's start with pricing. Really excited to share that we're in the process of rolling out pricing information on app listings across the entire Xero App Store. You might have seen in the blog last month that foreshadowed this was on its way. And there are some cases where pricing is actually already live. So pricing information, like what you see here, is really a key piece of information that has been missing from app listings since the beginning of time. And we consistently receive feedback from customers that they want to see this information. It's obviously difficult to make a purchasing decision without this information, and having it available at this stage helps customers understand and evaluate if an app is likely to be a good match for their needs. So really, having this transparency upfront means a better customer experience for our customers and better quality referrals for app partners. So this feature will be available soon. Developers will receive an email in the coming weeks, letting you know when you can populate your pricing information, which is done in the dev portal. We think it should take about 30 minutes, depending on the complexity of your pricing structure, and you'll have a month to add it from the time you're notified. So keep an eye out for those incoming comms. Shifting to the next topic now, so a bit of a recap of how we promote apps to our customers. Some of you may be familiar with this already, but we often get feedback from partners who aren't aware of how much work we do in the space to drive growth for your business. So I thought, good opportunity to recap this, as well as highlighting some of the more recent updates in this space. So, I mean, for starters, we have a dedicated growth team. That's where I fit in. And we're obsessed with apps and integrations that connect to Xero, and really getting those into the hands of the right accountants and small businesses, and to really help them solve what they're trying to do and help their businesses thrive. And obviously, with over 4.4 million Xero subscribers, there's plenty of opportunity to do that. So how are we doing that? Well, in terms of approach, firstly, we really try to grow awareness of the benefits of apps and Xero, from whether it's from driving efficiencies to reducing manual data entry, and really the benefits of having things connected. And that approach of growing the awareness really benefits all partners. We also then promote specific categories, so things like solving key problems such as apps to help manage your employees, or things around for specific industries, so groups of apps tailored to an industry needs, whether that be construction or agriculture. And on top of that, then we also have specific app recommendations. We leverage multi-channel tactics to reach the right Xero users at the right time and place. And some of the ways we bring this to life can be customer stories to really kind of show real life examples, You see some examples there. Leadership and thought leadership and research, blogs, education, and that kind of thing. We feature app messaging and lifecycle emails, so kind of throughout the Xero customer journey, and have regular inclusions in newsletters globally. We also leverage digital growth channels and, of course, inside the Xero product itself. So yeah, focusing then a bit more around, well, what does that look like within the Xero product? So starting with the dashboard. The dashboard is where most people land when they log in, and has over 36 million sessions per month. Apps are included in two key areas that you can see here. Firstly, the app widget. So this features a selection of app recommendations, and that's recommending apps based on the business profile and relevancy. You also then see up in the top right there, App Launcher. So App Launcher has two key functions. Firstly, it's the connected app section. So for someone who's already connected your app, then it's available persistently for easy launch within the Xero UI. Straight away, they're easy to access for greater engagement with your product. And beneath that has a recommendations section, which has both specific apps as well as popular categories that rotate through. Excitingly, though, as the Xero product evolves, so do these placements as well. And some of you may have seen our slick new homepage is in beta, and so that also houses a new app recommendation zone. That's being rolled out later this year over the coming months. And App Launcher will also have a facelift as part of that. Another update specifically within App Launcher is that we made it even easier for advisors to recommend your apps to their clients. So we know that advisors, in a lot of cases, are trusted sources of software advice for their clients. And so we want to enable our advisors to make those recommendations and deliver that advisory service right within Xero. So we've had a one-click app recommendation functionality in the Xero App Store for a while now, which essentially means that they can go to any listing and toggle on the recommendation, and then that recommendation is displayed to their clients in the logged-in state of the Xero App Store. However, now, when the advisor does that alongside the logged-in state on the Xero App Store, it'll also be surfaced to their client right within the Xero UI inside App Launcher for greater prominence there. So we also collaborate with other products in the Xero experience, like Xero Central. That's our dedicated support and learning platform, which gets over 1.5 million sessions a month. Xero Central really helps Xero users throughout their entire life cycle. And it's really a really great place to enable smart app recommendations. So here you'll see app recommendations embedded within a guide that helps small businesses get started. And on the next slide, it also kind of works in a very similar way for accountants and bookkeepers with App Surface and the advisor equivalent side of things there too. We also make app recommendations in Xero Central when someone is searching. So these are surfaced based on relevant search-based queries tied to helping Xero customers discover apps based on solving their key challenges or jobs to be done. And so the app card links here go directly into the Xero App Store listing to learn more about the app. A recent update in this space is that we've also added app recommendations into our advisor onboarding experience. So there have been some really great releases done in the past year and continue to be done. So for new accountants joining a Xero partner program, app recommendations are made as part of that onboarding process, and that's based on their onboarding input that they select during that workflow. and it suggests, therefore, it kind of suggests popular apps that could help streamline their practice workflows, as well as kind of manage their clients' bookkeeping and tax needs. So yeah, we're working with a range of different teams across the business to make sure that apps are surfaced in really relevant places where they add value for small businesses and advisors. Hope this gives you more color about kind of how and where we promote apps and the value that we place on championing our ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Cam, for sharing those details with us. And we do get quite a number of questions around marketing and growth, and I hope that that's insightful for all of you. Now I'm going to shift up to our final speaker for the day before we do our live Q&A in just a few moments. So I'm going to welcome Corey, who'll be sharing a bit about some of the things we're doing to amplify the engagement with you in our ecosystem. Corey.
Thank you, Grace. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to give you a dev engagement update today, starting with our new developer site. So many of you probably saw, but Xero Developer had an absolute glow up. This means a fresh coat of paint and a new sense of direction, including a new look and feel, new navigation, and a refined homepage. A big focus for our team was to provide easier access to our app partner guides, customer developer programs, and resources for advisors and non-developers. We really wanted this new site to be a place where all of you can connect with us and each other, provide feedback, and access support. We've also included access to AI tools and resources, including quick links to our MCP server, AI YouTube series, Agents SDK, prompt library, and code samples. Now I'll talk to you about some of our key programs. After several successful intakes, we are actively accepting applications for our next cohort of the growth program. For those of you who don't know, the growth program is designed to accelerate the growth of selected apps by boosting revenue, connections, and subscribers with increased promotion and dedicated support from Xero. If you're an app listed on the Xero App Store, we encourage you to apply. Applications for the growth program are rolling and open all year round, so you can apply whenever you feel ready. Selection is at Xero's discretion and runs for 6 months at a time, with new cohorts launching each quarter. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us at api@xero.com about that. We are also continuing the new Xero referral program. This program was made in response to a lot of the feedback we were hearing from many of you that you're sending Xero leads, but not necessarily seeing the credit for that lead. So we created this program to offer your customers an exclusive Xero offer and get you rewarded for it. So how does this work? When a customer converts to a paying subscription, you'll earn a $200 USD commission for every successful new sign up to Xero. Your customers will then get a 90% discount for 6 months. The program runs out of Partner Stack, and we've loaded in a bunch of preset resources and assets for you to use and market this opportunity to your customers. Lastly, the program does have a small application process, but it is incredibly quick. And just to make sure that the applications are coming from Xero developers, turnaround from this is super fast thanks to our incredible DevRel team. I'll now talk to you about our new Global App Awards on the next slide. We are incredibly excited to share that the Xero App Awards are back, and it's a fantastic way to show off your hard work and get recognized by the Xero ecosystem. This time, we will have winners recognized both globally and in each region. The Xero Global App Awards celebrates the developers and teams behind the most impactful, innovative, and loved apps. Whether you're helping small businesses run smoother, empowering practices, or building with AI, there's a category for you. So there are 5 categories to enter. The first is Practice App of the Year, which is for apps making life easier for accountants and bookkeepers. There's Small Business App of the Year, which is for tools helping small businesses thrive. Emerging App of the Year, which is for early stage apps launched between August 2023 and August 2025. Innovation App of the Year, which is for bold breakthrough product thinking. And lastly, there's People's Choice Award, which is the award voted by the Xero global community. To be eligible, your app must be on the Xero App Store and have at least 5 reviews with a 3-star rating or higher. Submitting an application is quick, and you have until October 19th to submit. If you are looking for ways to improve the marketing of your listing on the Xero App Store, we are excited to tell you that we created an AI prompt to help you with just that. The new prompt was built to guide you to create a listing that adheres to Xero's best practices and stand out. Just plug it into your favorite LLM and apply the results to your listing. You can find it in the link that Brian will be posting in the chat, so please give it a try. So at Dev Day and at Xerocon, many of you came up to us and asked about what the best way to stay in touch with all the news from Xero Developer is. So we want to just quickly go over some of those so that just to make sure that you know all the places that you can reach out to us and also hear from us. So first, join us for the quarterly webinars like you are right now. These occur every 3 months. You can also check out the YouTube channel for technical content such as guides and samples, along with dev engagement updates. You can also check out the devlog, newsletters, and emails for updates on everything Xero Developer. And lastly, don't forget to check our changelog and API status regularly. You can also connect with us online through a variety of platforms. We have weekly office hours on Google Meet every Friday at 10 a.m. New Zealand time, where you can chat with me and our amazing dev evangelists. If you have any questions and want to talk to someone about it, this is the place to do that. You can also find us on GitHub, X, and Instagram for consistent stream of updates. Lastly, you can contact Xero Developer Support at api@xero.com if you have any questions. We're also making a more concerted effort to come meet you where you are in person. This means having access to our advisors and being able to hang out with us somewhere convenient for you. This includes places like Xerocon and Dev Days, where we met so many of you recently. We're also attending many Xero roadshows, and we're hoping to host more regional meetups soon. So keep your eyes out for that. And if you are somewhere where you think a regional meetup would be really, really good, please let us know. The more you demand it, the more chances of it happening. There are also many exciting engagement opportunities coming soon. Many of you joined our Dev Day Discord server, and off the back of that, we are currently planning a more permanent Discord server for our community to chat with us and with each other. We're also looking at standing up a Xero Developer Council, where we're hoping to get more consistent feedback from the Xero Developer community. Lastly, we will be launching a refresh custom dev program that our team is incredibly excited about. So last thing from me today, feedback is incredibly important to us, and NPS is just one of the ways that we check in on how we are doing. So we'd love for you all to fill out this quick NPS survey so we can continue to find the best ways to serve all of you. Just scan the QR code and submit it. I'll give you a minute to do this while I slowly pass this back over to Grace.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of those exciting updates, Corey. I really can't wait to see what apps are going to win in this year's awards, especially now that we have global awards. It's pretty exciting. Whilst you're all filling in that NPS survey, I am going to cut over to our Q&A. So I am going to welcome Kelly, Regan, Cam to join me and Corey. And we're going to tick into the Q&A. And a lot of this is based off pre-submitted questions. But there was one that came through live. So I'm going to start with that one. And if you do have any more questions, please continue to pop them through the Q&A functionality while we're chatting. I am going to ask this to Cam, but I don't know, Corey, you might want to chip in a little bit. Someone asked, could we please get some advice on how to optimize our apps so that they can be suggested as app recommendations on the dashboard? Don't know if you have any insights you can give there, Cam.
Yeah, good question. So first thing, so broadly speaking, the recommendations use machine learning to surface what it determines will be the most relevant, right? So, and it treats essentially a click as an indicator of relevance, right? So if I show these 5 apps and this one is clicked on, that kind of signals and is taken as the proxy for being relevant to users. So therefore, is more likely to be surfaced going forward. So with that in mind, in order to optimize, I'd say, well, one in general, it's a great idea to optimize your full app listing. And there is a really good guide on that. But specifically for this, is thinking about the elements that often will get pulled through to the app card. So in some places, your short description on the app listing gets pulled through. So I think it's really making sure that essentially that one-liner is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and it's really kind of crafted to articulate the value and make it highly clickable. So I'd say that along with reviews. Reviews are a really strong indicator of trust. They act as social proof. So making sure that you actively generate, ask for reviews and get that review score up as high as possible. So there's a couple of things in terms of that would be done in the dev portal on the app listing that's visible to customers. But I would also say there are some things there in the back end essentially that also would help. So making sure all your information in the back end in the app listing section dev portal is also important, right? So things like adding information about who your app is for, whether that's for small businesses, and I think there's there as well a breakdown in terms of by company size, or if it's for accountants or if it's for both. But helping provide that right information can also be useful and help inform and will kind of drive whether or not it's shown, and then with the view of making it as relevant as possible.
Great. Thank you, Cam, for helping us out with that. Hopefully that was a useful insight for everyone. We had quite a number of questions that came through pre-submitted about where's the best place to get started, what are the best practices that you offer, are there boilerplates, are there any suggestions around patterns and architecture and keeping up to date with Xero and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to kind of lump that question all into one and say that best place to get started is the Getting Started guide on the Developer Center. So I'd go and check that out. That will point you towards things like our SDKs. We have sample apps, and those across 6 different languages. So .NET, Node, Ruby, PHP, Java, and I always forget one. There's another one. It'll come to me in a moment. But those are really helpful resources for you to get started. We do have a range of best practices as well. So the documents that I was talking through earlier around the IDs and tokens, I would point you to go and look at that. There's a range of really comprehensive best practices on different types of functionality, like account mapping and taxes and various different concepts that are really important to a variety of different people doing things with their API. So I would go and have a look at those as well as a place to get started. And of course, if you do hit a roadblock and you can't find resources online, we do have our API support team as well, who are often able to point you in the right direction. I am going to throw to Kelly next and kind of combine one of the questions that came through beforehand along with one of the questions that came through live. So the question that came through previously is how much of the roadmap is dictated by engineering, product, or users on the Xero Developer Ideas website that we have, and the live question that came through is kind of an extension of that around what kind of additional endpoints are being planned for the platform in the near future.
Very good questions. As people who work in the digital product space, getting that roadmap balance right is always a challenge. Getting a good balance of those work types of tech debt, new feature development, and customer feedback, super important. And the short answer of this is it kind of depends based on the team. So this is why it's super important for us to understand the impact of what you're asking for, so we can provide that right information back to the teams to allow really good prioritization decisions. The live question in terms of what new features we've got coming up, we will look to feed that back via user voice, where there's a user voice direct correlation to. We tend to give upcoming work in the changelog as well, and in our webinars and newsletters. So yeah, it's super important for us to make sure that those changes are kind of quite locked in before we start telling you about it. We don't want to disappoint you. So yeah, we're in quite close conversations with all of those teams. One other thing I'd like to just call out too, thanks Brett Bailey for your question in the Q&A about the XPM feedback around pagination. You mentioned that you came along to Dev Day, and one of the magic things I saw in Dev Day was actually the wider Xero team being there as well, to be able to hear from you guys directly about what some of your loves about Xero APIs and the developer experience, and also what some of your pain points are, right? There's nothing better than people hearing it, directly from the customer. So it was really magic to see all that happen in the Developer Day in Brisbane too. So we'll try and make sure that there is a range of Xero people at our Developer Days to hear and engage with you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Kelly. Regan, a question for you is what, if any, additional features are coming through to MCP at the moment?
Sorry, struggling with buttons. What new features are coming to MCP? I would throw that back as a question. What new features do you want in MCP? That would be a really good thing to let us know. So we focus very much on the invoicing flow at the moment, which we think is the most useful thing. There are some things that we are actively avoiding as part of MCP, just around like privacy concerns and things like that. So we do a bunch of work to actually scrub out like PII information from responses that end up going to large language models as part of the MCP server. So there are some things that we probably won't do in MCP, at least in its initial form at the moment. But yeah, we're currently exploring some other things. MCP as a protocol has changed quite a lot since we released that initial MCP server as well. There's been some additional things added to the spec around authentication. The modality of how you interact with a remote MCP server has changed considerably. And so these are other things that we're looking at. Currently, the MCP server that we have relies on it running locally on someone's machine. If you don't have Node installed on your computer and you haven't installed a Node package on your computer before, that could be quite daunting for somebody. So having something run remotely would be really cool. Yeah, so these are all the things that we're exploring. As Kelly just spoke about roadmaps, though, it's a matter of fitting it in and where we do those things. But yeah, absolutely keen to hear feedback on what you want from MCP that you're not currently getting.
Cool. Thank you so much, Regan. It was very helpful. Corey, a question for you. What are the prizes for the Global App Awards this year?
Yeah, so I can just talk about some of the benefits more broadly. I think the first thing is just increased visibility, right? So finalists and winners get a Xero Awards promo pack with assets and expert tips to amplify success. There's also this trust factor, your app, you can really show the Xero community your app's impact with an award-winning badge and highlights innovation and real user value. And I think lastly, it's just the inspiration piece, right? I think people like winning things. So it is one of those things that you can kind of boost the morale of your team by winning this award and being celebrated as one of those top apps.
Cool. Thank you, Corey. I am going to go back to Regan. We had a follow-up question about MCP authentication and if it's only available with a custom connection or if you can use OAuth with it.
Thank you for asking. So there is the ability to pass a bearer token to the MCP server directly, but you would have to set up the entire setup of going and getting your API credentials, your client ID, client secret, exchanging everything for an access token, bringing that access token back, and then handing it to the MCP server. So you would have to set up some kind of test harness or little app that did that alongside the MCP server. We haven't been able to build it directly into the MCP server for a number of reasons. Custom connections is 100% the easiest way to get it working, and it is definitely the preferred way of working with it. As soon as you start getting situations like you want to have multi-org situations, the local MCP server is just really not set up for that. We haven't put any tools in place to like switch orgs or anything like that. So yeah, my recommendation is custom connections is absolutely the way to go for now. But yeah, there is the possibility of passing a bearer token directly to that MCP server, but you will need knowledge of how to set that up and get it from the API prior to actually sending it over, and manage the state of that, which is, yeah, there's lots of considerations there.
Cool. Thanks for some insight on that, Regan. I am going to cover the last question that's come through, but while I'm doing that, I'm just going to launch a quick poll so I can hear a little bit from you about what your favorite topics were that you heard from today. The final question was about how to create a copy of data into the demo company or like a sandbox type functionality. So we don't have a sandbox functionality at the moment, although I know that that is a very common request. So that's something that we continue to note as feedback. We always recommend that you use the Xero demo company, which has preceded data, which is quite helpful. However, that doesn't always do the thing that you're quite after. And so a lot of people will actually create their own data in there. We have created a Postman collection to help you create some data for specifically invoicing. So I've dug up our blog on that links through to all of the collection in Postman, so you can leverage that if you need to. And then for apps that are already certified, you can actually access a free Xero organization for your development purposes, for testing purposes, and you can connect to us through our support team, api@xero.com, and we will be able to provision that for you. Right, so I am going to wrap us up there for today as we have finished all of our Q&A. If you do have any further questions, then of course you can always come and join us in office hours. You can contact us through user voice if you have feature requests. You can email us. There's loads and loads of different ways that you can get in contact with us. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and we will also be sharing the recording of this, like I mentioned, on our YouTube if you want to go back and refer to anything later or share it with your team. For now, a big thank you for us in the Xero Developer team, and we will see you next time. Bye.